Welcome today lecture. The subject idea is novel drug delivery systems. In that, today I am going to deliver gastroretentive drug delivery systems. It is nowadays the most wanted, most important topic. Any dosage form we are consuming, it should be present in the stomach for longer duration. That means the residence time will be greater. Ultimately, more chances are there to release the drug in the stomach, ultimately get better drug absorption. So, in the gastroretentive drug delivery systems, having number of approaches to develop. The first approach is floating drug delivery systems. So, what is floating drug delivery system? In short, FDDS. FDDS has a bulk density less than gastric fluid. First, what is gastric fluid? The stomach content, the juice contains hydrochloric acid, pepsin, renin, pancreatic juice, water and other content are called as gastric fluid. The gastric fluid having bulk density close to 1, that is bulk density very close to 1 means close to water, that is called as water density, pure water at 25 degrees 1. The FDS has a bulk density less than gastric fluids means they remain buoyant on the stomach fluid without affecting gastric emptying rate and for a prolonged period of time. That means the duration of residence increasing when we are floating the dosage form on the gastric fluid. Why they are floating? Because the density of the dosage form is lesser than the gastric fluid density. So, for that we are using some small formula, F equal to buoyancy minus F equal to gravity, that is dF minus ds multiplication with GV, where F total vertical force, dF fluid density, ds objective density, V volume, G acceleration due to gravity. By using this formula, we are trying to calculate the floating property, the floating time of the given floating drug delivery systems. Before developing any novel drug delivery systems, we should consider some factors, the factors, positive factors and negative factors. So, what are the factors to be considered to increasing the floating? Otherwise, what are the factors affecting the floating and its time? That means the floating time. The factors affecting floating time and the floating rate depends upon the following parameters. The first one, density, size and shape of the dosage form. The first parameter, very important paramount parameter is density, size, shape of the dosage form. The density, it must be lesser than the gastric fluid density. If it is greater than, it will be the floating and time will be affected. And second one, single and multiple unit formulation. FDDS we are developing in a two category, single unit and multiple unit formulations. So, what type of formulation that is? And another point is fed and unfed stage. That is a state of the subject, that is a patient, what in the stomach condition, whether the stomach is empty or filled with food materials. And if they filled with food materials, what is the frequency of feed? That means the subject, patient, how many times taking food material in a day. Same time concurrently we are using the dosage form FDDS. Nature of meal. Nature of meal means the content and the component of the meal may be a protein, may be a fat, may be a carbohydrate. That also alter the density of the gastric fluid, ultimately affect the floating and its time. Age and gender. Age, it is pediatric or geriatric, gender male or female, that also having a play a matter of the gastric floating of the dosage form. Posture, that means that the patient is sitting condition or in the bed condition or standing position. So what is the posture? Biological factors, that means hormonal imbalance. The subject having subject patient having a different hormonal disturbance may also affect the production of pancreatic juices, renin, pepsin, hydrochloric acids. Ultimately, they change the gastric fluid density. Then the floating mechanism will be affected. We want to develop a FDDS. We follow some methodology. The 5 common methodology till now is direct compression technique. That means the polymers and the drug candidates should be together processed and compressed as a dosage form. Melt granulation technique. So melting the polymers and combined with the polymers, the drug will be added, that is called as melt granulation technique. Melt solidification technique. After melting, solidifying the polymer with the drug, it is called melt solidification technique. Spray drying technique. Last one, wet granulation technique. So now move on to the classification of FDDS. Because FDDS having a number of approaches in that single unit, multiple unit. In the single unit, non-effervescent system and the effervescent system, that is gas generating system. Multiple unit dosage form, floating dosage form, and non-effervescent systems, raft forming systems, hollow microspheres, magnetic systems. Opposite to floating, that is called as the floating drug delivery system, otherwise called as low density approach. Opposite to low density approach is high density approach. The earlier one, the density of the dosage form is lesser than 1, then only float buoyant on the gastric fluid. The second one here, this heading, high density system. This system never float on the gastric fluid, but ultimately zinc in the mucosa layer, the stomach mucosa layer. For that, the gastric content have a density close to 1, that is water. Water density is 1. Suppose we are designing such a dosage form, close to 2.5 gram per centimeter cube is necessary for significant prolongation of gastric residence time. If the dosage form having a density 2.5 gram per centimeter cube, and necessarily the gastric residence will be increased. Once the gastric residence time increased, the more chances for drug release and more chances for drug absorption. For that, we are using different excipients. The commonly used excipients in high density system includes barium sulfate, zinc oxide, iron powder, and titanium dioxide. The major drawbacks, that is the difficulties, challenges with such a system is that it is technically difficult to manufacture them with a large amount of drug and to achieve their required density. Suppose we are using the density, the dosage density is 2.5 gram, we are using more amount of excipients. So the drug amount is very difficult to incorporate, the size will be increases. These are the practical challenges in the high density system. So to overcome the high density system challenges, we are following the another approach in the high density system. One more principle will be added, that is called as gastro-adhesive drug delivery systems. So these are the objectives in the gastro-adhesive. Adhesive means pasting on the mucosal layer of the stomach. The objective is it serves a potential means of extending the gastric residence of the drug delivery system in the stomach. by increasing the intimacy and duration of the contact of drug with biological membrane. So, increasing the intimacy, that is a very closeness, and duration of the contact of the drug with the biological membrane. The concept is based on the cell protective mechanism of GI tract. Mucosa secreted continuously to the especially goblet cells. In the mucosa, what secreting in the stomach, that is called as mucosa, that is secreted by the goblet cells located throughout the GI tract, plays a cryptoprotective role. The ability to provide a adhesion of the drug to the GI wall provide a longer residence time. The adhesion, the dosage form having adhesion property, they simply get adhere on the gastric mucosa layer of GI wall, provide a longer residence time and a particular organ site, thereby by producing an improved effect in terms of local action or maybe a systemic action. Gastroadhesive drug delivery system, different mechanisms we are adapting to developing such a system. They are mainly having three categories. The first one, hydration mediated adhesion. The second one, bonding mediated adhesion. Third one, receptor mediated adhesion. These are the basic principle we are adapting to develop a gastroadhesive drug delivery system, because high density system having some challenges. Hydration mediated adhesion system. So, polymer, that is hydrophilic polymers, have the tendency to imbibe a large amount of water. The hydrophilic means, hydro means water, philic means loving. The polymers easily attract the water molecules, that means easily allow the water molecule inside, so imbibe large amount of water and become sticky, thereby acquiring bioadhesive properties. So, these principles we are using bioadhesive polymers, that is a hydration mediated. Hydration means because of water the polymer gets swells and just like a gummy nature, they try to adhere on the walls, that is the mucosa layer of the stomach. So, the adhesion takes place, ultimately the more chances of drug release in the site. The second principle is bonding mediated adhesion. Here some chemical bonding or physical bonding or mechanical nature. The bonding mediated adhesion, it involves the varying bonding mechanisms. By bonding, there is a physical or mechanical or chemical bonding, primary covalent bonds, secondary and ionic bonds. So, by chemical or physical or mechanical by means, the bonding will be happen because the GI tract, that mucosa, the polymers, mucins are some chemical properties. The polymer what we are using, employing in that development of gastroadhesive drug delivery system, the chemical reactions, they try to form a bond. So, that is called as bonding mediated adhesion, gastroadhesive drug delivery systems. Classification of bioadhesive polymers. So, we want to make a bonding or hydrophilic polymers. So, first we understand there are some basic polymers used in the gastroadhesive drug delivery systems. Classification of bioadhesive polymers are cationic, anionic and neutral. Commonly used cationic polymers are polybrine, poly-L-lysine, polylysine, polyvinyl methyl imidazole. These are the very commonly used cationic polymers in the bioadhesion gastroenteric drug delivery systems. Anionic example CMC, carboxymethyl cellulose, dextran sodium, polyacrylic acids. So, these are the anionic polymers commonly employed in the gastroadhesive drug delivery systems. Neutral polymers, bovine serum, albumin, dextran, ficol. These are commonly used neutral polymers in the development of gastroadhesive drug delivery system. Then third principle, receptor mediated adhesion. First of all, we should understand what is receptor. Receptors are the specific chemical group present on the cell surface. In the mouth to anus, the mucosal layer having a cells, and cells having a different chemical component, specific chemical group. By identifying the chemical group, we can use a polymer that is called as receptor mediated adhesion. Particular receptor that get bind the dosage form polymer and the chemical receptor present on the cell surface. So, certain polymers have the ability to bind a specific receptor sites on the cell surface. Here cell surface means mucosal cell surface. For that we are using some certain plant sources polymers, lectins, like tomato lectins interact specifically with the sugar group present in the mucus. Mucus having some sugar group, lipopolysaccharides. The lectins easily bind with mucus of the sugar group. Suppose there is no sugar molecules receptor in the mucus, so very difficult to get mediate for adhesion. But naturally our saliva mucous layer having the sugar group. This sugar group get mediate, suppose using the lectins from the tomato for the development of a dosage form, easily get adheres. Here factors you should consider for affecting gastroadhesion. So, what are the factors may affect alter the gastroadhesion property of the drug delivery system? We are using polymer and environment and physiological factors. Polymer is a major role in the development of gastroadhesive drug delivery system. The first factor is polymer related factor. The molecular weight of the polymer, concentration of active polymer, the flexibility of polymer chains. How many monomers together they form a polymers, flexibility of the polymer chains. Environmental related factor, that is a microenvironment of the GI tract, stomach, the pH of a polymer substrate interface, the pH, very important. Hydrochloric acid, pepsin, renin. The empty stomach, the pH will be 1.2 to 3, but after food it will be above 3 to 5. Depends on the pH may alter the adhesion property. Physiological factors, mucin turnover, because the mucin very important for adhesion. Suppose improper mucin turnover or disease state, some peptic ulcer like that, or some H. pylori infection in the stomach. So, these are the factors ultimately affect the turnover time of the mucin. Applications. Gastroadhesive drug delivery system, the applications are, these dosage forms are readily localized in the region applied to the improve and enhance the bioavailability of the drug. The ultimate development of dosage form to improve the bioavailability of the any drugs of the given dosage form. Gastroenteric drug delivery system play a major role in the better bioavailability. These dosage form facilitate intimate contact of the formulations, with underlying absorption surface. So, more intimate contact of the formulation with the absorption surface, ultimately more drug get absorbed. So, the wastage of the drug will be minimized. This allows modification of tissues permeability for the absorption of the macromolecules such as peptides and proteins. By this gastroadhesive mechanism, we can allow the formulations of the development of peptides and protein formulations. Mucoadhesive dosage form also prolongs the residence time of the dosage form at the site of application, and absorption to permit once or twice a day dosing. So, this is the today topic. We have discussed the different approaches for the gastroenteric drug delivery systems. With this conclusion, I will thank you today topic. Thank you.